So yesterday, got up in the morning, went to the gym, had a sauna, steam and stuff, and drove back, and the weather was absolutely terrible and really depressing day. So I thought I'll have a bit of breakfast, and then I found these mushrooms, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get set up for the day. I'm going to light some candles, I'm going to put some meditation music on, I'm going to barricade the door shut, lock the door, turn off my phone, and have the day of being on mushrooms and see what bliss comes through, and let's have a little trip sort of thing. But yeah, ultimately, what I found was it was the most harrowing day of probably the last few years. I just spent pretty much most of the day on the floor crying. I probably had to mop the floor a couple of times through the absolute bawling of tears. But yeah, so yeah, it was an absolute horrific experience. And the issues that I was working through, or purging if you like, I've already been addressing them. I've already been working through them. But it was like, after me having this dose, this high dose of flipping going into cuckoo land, it was almost like the higher self, the universe just said, right, okay, we knew what we were working with anyway, and yet you're trying to look outside or whatever, you're trying to find answers, or you're trying to find some sort of comfort. So here you go, we're going to crank up the volume full blast, and every fucking trauma, every insecurity, doubt that I feel that I'm working through anyhow was flipping turned up tenfold. And I spent 8 to 9 hours of my day on a weekday, when I'd usually be getting things done, doing work, flipping rolling around my front room, shedding tears and trying to find a place of surrender. It was fucking madness. And yeah, 8 hours of solid purging, and I'm sure it served its purpose, and I'm not saying psychedelics are bad, but the point of me making this video is not to tell you that I was crying on the floor all day yesterday as a 42-year-old grown mad. Is more to say that we don't need to be taking any kind of substance to try and find answers or seek some sort of wisdom that we can't already find. And I was carefully reminded of that yesterday throughout a long 8 hours of, you don't need to be doing this. You're not going to find. You're not gonna sit in bliss this time. You're not supposed to be feeling bliss. You've already been working through. And yeah, like I say, it was like the volume had got cranked up, and the things that I felt that I've been working with over the last 2 months were just amplified. Hopefully it's pushed it through a little bit, because I feel great today. Bit of anxiety and whatnot. But yeah, I won't be doing any kind of psychedelics, DMT again. I don't believe we need them. The true connection to the divine is from soul, and we can find that when we sit in the silence, we practice presence, and we learn to sit quiet for long enough, and then we can then we find the answers, then we find that connection. And the way I felt yesterday was like it was just me taking drugs. That's how it felt. And the fact that I haven't drank alcohol for 9 months or consumed any type of substance, drug, whatever you want to call it, for 9 months, there was a part of me that felt like a bit of a prat for doing it, sort of thing. As I know I've come a long way. But yeah, this was just a video that I sort of wanted to make, because if you're thinking of dabbling and you think that psychedelics are going to connect you to spirit and that, I'm not saying they can't, but there's nothing outside of you that's going to make you find an answer or take the weight from you. It may help you purge, it may help you release. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm not saying there's no goodness behind them, but ultimately we're seeking, we're finding, we're using a substance to try and find something outside of ourselves, which we already have within. And but yeah, it was an experience nonetheless. And yeah, it may well have done me some good. But yeah, just be aware that you may find yourself on your hands and knees crying all day like a flipping child, and having your fears, doubts, insecurities, whatever you might already be working through, pulled right to the surface, to a point where you're gonna face it, and probably feel a bit shitty afterwards. Yeah, and drugs in total, drugs are bullshit. Drugs and drink are bullshit. I've not drank for 9 months. I've not had any type of substance, cocaine, nothing. I'm done with it. I'm done with all that life. But yet part of me felt a little bit messy and a little bit shitty yesterday, that I'd spent the day locked in my house with all my doors shut, bolted, escaping the outside world to try and connect to fucking the higher realms, when I'm already connected. We're already connected to source. We've just got to learn to use our own soul and our own silence to allow it to come through. Allow the bliss to come through. Allow the peace to come through. Allow the beautiful things to unfold in our lives. So yeah, I know I'm waffling on, but anyone that wants to say, yeah, do this, do that, because it connects you to spirit, then if that's what you want to do, and I'm not saying they're bad, and I'm not saying there's no high benefits from it or anything like that, I'm just saying that for me, I'm done. There's no more substance of any description going inside my body anymore for me to try and find something that I already know that I can find within. And if people are trying to tell you to do things or trying to get you to do drugs, whatever they are, tell them to fuck off. Just tell them to fuck off. And but yeah, I just felt like making this video because maybe somebody wants to hear it, or maybe somebody's hearing how spiritual psychedelics are, and DMT, and yeah, DMT trips can be amazing. I'm not saying that, but ultimately, we're trying to seek something outside of ourselves through a substance to help our souls connect to the higher realms. That's what we're doing. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but is it true? Is there truth behind it? And does it make you better as a person? So if you're thinking, sit with it, breathe with it. If you're doing it because you're following a crowd, I would seriously tell you to stay away, because they think it's cool, or they can have heroic doses and all that. Psychedelics is not an ego thing anyway. If you're going to do it, just make sure that you're with the right people and you're in the right environment, and it's not you're not on a session where who can have more than somebody else, and you don't do drink with it. It's you've got to be careful with it, because like I say, I spent the whole day pretty much bawling on the floor. And yeah, just be careful. Just be careful. The only true answers that we'll find in life, the truest answers, will come from within. Just remember that.